the famous Salesforce forward-looking statement. So we may talk about things in this webinar, or Andrew in particular might, which talks about the future. And please don't make any purchasing decisions from that. I'm sure you've all seen this in Salesforce webinars and conferences previously, and all quite familiar with that. So getting into things, here we have our panel for today. So Peter, you're on the line.
I am indeed.
Welcome along. Perhaps you could give us a brief intro.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Well, I'm Peter Chalmers. I'm the principal consultant to Trinio here in Australia. I've been in the Salesforce space for quite some time. That accounts for the grey hair. I didn't have that before. Been doing this for about 15 years, I suppose. Came from a customer site to initially, and then moved into partner land from there, and most recently joined Trinio.
Excellent. Andrew, good to have you on board today.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for the time. Yeah, so Andrew Price, I currently work at Salesforce and looking after the go-to-market for Einstein across APAC, previously in partner world in terms of delivery, also solution engineer, architect at a company called Cloud Shoppers. And then I joined Salesforce as a pre-sales engineer around about 4 years ago.
Cool. And finally, I'm Dan Fowley, co-founder and COO at Trinio. I've been implementing Salesforce for 12 years now. So let's jump straight into the reason you're all here. So Peter, do you want to kick us off with our first question?
Yeah, I certainly do. So today's all about Einstein, and Andrew's the expert on Einstein, so that's why
it is the best Salesforce product. I'm just saying straight up.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less of you either. My first question is, what's Einstein? Salesforce has a habit of using brands across a whole bunch of things, and what Einstein started with and what it is now could be somewhat confusing. So, what is it in the overall scheme of things?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, we definitely like to market things in specific ways, but I think with Einstein, what we're trying to do is make it easy for our customers to kind of add intelligence to each one of their products or capabilities. So we kind of bucket them into 3 different areas. One is we have our out-of-the-box or intelligence for specific products. Then we kind of have this declarative intelligence, which is kind of the product that I mainly look after around Einstein Analytics. And then we've got our platform Einstein capabilities and things. These are things like Einstein Vision, sentiment analysis. So there are a bunch of APIs that you can use to then add into your apps. So we've kind of got this tick and flick methodology where you can just add it quickly to your product. We then have our platform piece, which is you can build anything that you want, and then finally we've got some APIs that you can add in to your apps. And so what we want to do is basically, the way that we think about this is, if you're living in Salesforce today, any one of our products, how do we very easily give you some intelligence to make it easy for you, but then also, get better outcomes on those platforms, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And so this is a completely on-platform play, Andrew. There's no other. I know there's been some acquisitions of technology, but this is all running on the core stack.
So what we've done is there's different pieces of the puzzle of the brand Einstein that kind of sit in different places. So if you're using something like our Sales Cloud Einstein, what we've done is we've hosted that in different places. It's not on core necessarily. Bits of it are, but depending on the capabilities that you want to turn on within Sales Cloud Einstein, some of it might not be sitting on the core system. Now, Einstein Analytics Plus is on core, so we use part of the core, all of the core platform. use the same database, same security model, the same UX, UI. And so, you know, for customers that need everything on core, we definitely have solutions across the whole bucket or remit where we can use it. And then obviously things like Marketing Cloud Einstein, that's going to sit within the Marketing Cloud stack. And, you know, Commerce Cloud, that's going to sit in the Commerce Cloud stack. So we've applied, you know, the intelligence to where that product lives. But in a couple of scenarios, some features and functions do live elsewhere. And primarily that's because we need extra horsepower or different capability that might not be there, you know, in core or somewhere else.
So that actually brings us to an interesting next question. What's the difference? So there was an acquisition, 12 months ago of Tableau. You know, what's the difference between what Tableau is and what Einstein is?
I mean, this is a good question. We get asked this, you know, we probably get asked this every day. And for a lot of our customers, we used to compete against Tableau pretty much in every single one of our deals. And what we found is that most of our customers lived with both, right? So, you know, most of our, I think Telstra is very public that they have Einstein Analytics. You know, they have a lot of other business intelligence tools internally. And what we find is that it's a persona-driven purchase. So where we fitted was if you were living on Sales Cloud or Service Cloud or Marketing Cloud, you're probably going to be using something like Datorama or Einstein because of the fact that it's on core and it's in the marketing remit. And so there's, you know, for our customers, it's kind of this obvious choice because you don't want to go to a different BI tool just to look actuals versus target. It makes sense that salespeople should live in Sales Cloud, and the best place to do that is with Einstein. But then you've got another bunch of people that don't even know what Salesforce is. And they're analysts, they're BI people, they're finance people that live in Excel spreadsheets. And so they are going to be drawn to something like Tableau because it's easy, it's on their computer, they can click into it, they can add their files. It's super, super quick to kind of go in and dig into information. Whereas something like Einstein, you know, you've got to format the data in the right way to upload it. And then you've got to deal with cloud stuff. Whereas, you know, Tableau, they've got a cloud product, but their on-prem is really, really good for people that are living on-prem. So I think that most of the time, you know, most of our customers have both tools and we apply them to the different persona that are using that platform, and we see great success with this. And so customers are now saying, well, you know, how is this going to work? It's going to work like it always has done. It's just going to be easier for you now because, you know, you can purchase all of these products at the same time. And Dan, have you seen something like this, Dan? I mean, I know that you started doing Einstein internally. I'm sure you've used Tableau before.
Yeah, it's interesting in some of our larger customers who hadn't gone down the Einstein path, but were, you know, had gone down the Tableau path for their BI, and suddenly kind of, I guess, their worlds are coming together as Salesforce has gone through the acquisition. So figuring out what that means and how we can, you know, take a more holistic view of things and actually get into parts of the business that we weren't previously part of the discussions. So that more holistic offering is quite interesting, and then picking the right tool for the job to solve the business problems that they have in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit complicated to say, but, you know, Einstein really is a data platform for distribution. I mean, it was built to have lots of users being able to see data in a very secure way on our platform. That we wanted to do intelligence for CRM. And so our product is very biased to that, whereas Tableau is kind of like analytics for everybody. And so their product is very biased to that. And so, yeah, it's literally, you know, what is the right thing that I need to use this tool for, and then getting the right tool.
So I'm going to jump ahead a couple of questions because I think it's good to bring this in. So what's the difference then? We've got got reports and dashboards inside Salesforce. We've got
Yeah.
Einstein. We've got Tableau. You know, there's a solution for everything at the end of the day.
Right.
But what's the difference between, you know, how much more powerful is Einstein versus you know, building something out of a report and dashboard? What's our limitations on that Einstein gets us around?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think if we reverse back, I think Einstein used to be Wave. It's now like 7 years old. When you go back then, you know, customers were giving us feedback at Salesforce about certain limitations that they were having with the product. Things like, you know, it's very hard for me to pull back a certain amount of rows, or I need to see, I know this might be a technical term, multi-grain analysis, or, you know, I need to be able to report on external data as well as Salesforce data and combine them. So maybe I can see reconciliation, or, you know, I've got my finance system, you know, so the reports and dashboards is brilliant because somebody can log in, know how to use Salesforce, and quickly get, you know, kind of real-time view of the numbers within Salesforce. But because of the way that Salesforce is designed, it's not a reporting platform, right? It's not a business intelligence platform. And so the way that we've architected it is for process and, you know, salespeople and service people to run their daily lives. And so when we're getting all this feedback, you know, you have a couple of options. Do you look at a business intelligence tool? Do you kind of change your data architecture and system architecture to support that? So, you know, this was obviously in the market. We saw that lots of people were extracting data out of Salesforce to then go and put it into other tools. So Excel for our customers is probably, you know, one of the biggest things that they have. They're downloading 5 or 6 reports, they're bashing them to mashing them together and then going, cool, here's the outcome. And so at Salesforce, you know, we don't want you to have to leave our platform. And so we, based on that feedback, we thought, well, you know, we could probably build a business intelligence tool that is very biased to sales and service. And so we ended up with Einstein, where we fix a lot of those things. So if you want to report on more than 2,000 rows, you can, right? Millions of rows. If you want to bring in external data, you can. If you want to, you know, build a data set with 50 objects at the lowest grain, you can. So we kind of position our product back to those original reporting issues. And that's kind of why we have a different point of view of analytics versus, you know, like a Tableau did or a Power BI, because we were really solving intelligence and analysis for our main customers, which were Salesforce customers, CRM customers.
Cool. You touched on one of the questions we received there, Andrew, that so you can definitely bring external data in and mix that and match that up with your CRM data as well.
Yeah, we outside of our number one use case on our platform in ANZ is probably what I call actuals versus target. So that is, I've got a target somewhere, maybe in a budgeting system, maybe in a financial system, maybe even in Excel. And then I've got my actuals, which is my opportunities and my sales reps that are closing. And I need to quickly just, you know, are these salespeople hitting their targets? Most of our customers do not even have that. They do it in Excel or they do it in some other system. And so, you know, just that alone is a big fix. But then our second use case is really, I've got 30, 40% of data externally, maybe in Amazon, maybe locally. How do I, you know, join my opportunity and my account data or activity data to that external information, a financial system or, you know, a HR system? And so those two use cases are probably something like, you know, a large majority of our deals, because that's the first thing people need to fix. Can we do a bunch of other stuff? 100%. But most of our customers don't even have that. So we spend most of our deals are going, okay, this is how we solve these problems for you on platform. But yes, external data is a big factor.
On one of the questions, one of the terms I love is data lake. And I just had this vision of, you know, this lake just full of the data, and I'm just swimming through it. Because it's all about data these days. Is it data or data? I digress. why use Einstein versus a data lake? Now I don't even know how we're saying it.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, yeah, it's funny. There's a couple of responses. I mean, first and foremost, I don't think the data lake thing is real, right? I'm just calling it out because, you know, when I go and visit customers, they spend all of this time kind of going, you know, I need to get my integration, I need to get my master data management, I need to get my DQM. And then they kind of put it into, so data lake is basically, you know, a simplified version is it can scale forever, right, in terms of storage. And it can take kind of structured and unstructured data, and it can handle velocity, which is data at rest, streaming. Basically, it's like this one place where you can chuck everything. So you've got all these companies that have done a data lake strategy, and this is very common, especially in Australia. It's kind of seen as best practice architecture, where I'm going to have this lake and I'm going to chuck everything in it. But now you've got a problem. You've chucked all this stuff in there, but in some way, shape, or form, it's going to be structured on the way out. So at some point, you had to do that transform and structure. Now, for us, most of our customers have to get structured data into Salesforce or do something with it for a rep or a service person or a marketer to do something with it. So there's kind of this dichotomy where everybody's like, yo, I need this data lake so I can take all this information, but then they have to structure it to do something with it. So, you know, what we've seen is we go, well, Einstein just takes structured data. We are a denormalized, schemaless database. So it's very easy. We get the benefits of kind of chucking data in there very quickly, but it is semi-structured. So, you know, because we've got to classify it, it makes it easy for people to build stuff out and drill in. And so we also do billions of rows on our platform. I don't see many customers going into the trillion row or multi-billion row problems when they're dealing with CRM, service, marketing use cases. And so when we look at the people that are actually needing to use the data that we are doing something with, they all need it structured. And so then the question is that why did we put it into a data lake in the first place? So, you know, for a lot of our customers, they're connecting to Google, they're connecting to Amazon, they're connecting to, you know, all of these different platforms, and then they structure it, put it in, and then we make it super easy for them to kind of drill in and understand it. So for us, it makes sense because of the persona that we're providing that capability to.
It's very cool.
You guys can disagree with this. You're like, yo, no, we're seeing data lakes everywhere, and this is our number one thing.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. So I've seen the term, and some of our customers are building data lakes on Amazon,
Right.
but I haven't seen the benefits come from it yet. I just hear about all these projects to put things into the data lake, or one day we can get things out of the data lake, but I haven't seen any of those come to fruition after at least 12 to 18 months of implementation. So it's it's interesting.
I know a ton of companies that have got rid of their data lake strategies when they figured out value realization is a big piece in business intelligence and AI, and even platforms, right? Even Salesforce. It's like, yo, I spent $1 million on this. I was expecting to make $10 million and I couldn't quantify it. So what do we do? And that's the challenge that people that have done a data lake are now falling into. They never got the value realization. Some companies, yeah, like if you're Google, it makes sense. But for the normal enterprise mid-market, there seems to be a lot of investment in something like that without the return.
That's a good point. Andrew, how about trending? So in Salesforce Core, we can do reporting snapshots,
Right.
but they're pretty basic in what they can do. What does analytics look like from a trending, changing data over time point of view?
Yeah, I mean, the benefit with, you know, like Einstein Analytics is that I think out of the box we give you 100 billion rows. So you might need to quote me on that. 10 billion. It's a couple of billion at least. And you know, because of the way that the data is stored, we can, you know, take a lot of data from the CRM, and put it into our storage. And so, we've got, as part of our Einstein Analytics platform, we can do snapshotting kind of very quickly, where we go and choose an object and the certain fields that we want to take a picture of. And then we can, take a picture of that data, every 15 minutes, every hour, every day. And then you can keep that running for kind of ever until you keep the storage. And so for a lot of our customers, one of the challenges that they have is pipeline movement. So you've got a bunch of account reps, or you've got a bunch of service people, where you don't want, when you do a report in Salesforce, you don't want to just see what the case status is right now. You want to understand what the case status was over the last month, and then at aggregate, what on average, where is my funnel getting stuck in solving cases? And so with Einstein, because of course it's all on the same platform, and because of the data, we make it super, super easy to kind of create these snapshots. We've even got an Einstein Analytics template where you can, just go and choose maybe in 30 seconds exactly what you want to snapshot. And then the snapshot process is kicked off, and then we build a dashboard automatically for you. So this is something that our customers have been talking about for years and years and years. And probably a lot of your customers have, extract data out of the platform to do the snapshotting. But we kind of do this in 5 clicks in a minute. Very quick, very easy, and very powerful when you're looking at funnel type issues. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that's quite a powerful feature. And as you say, in my experience playing around with analytics and implementing it, there's definitely some complexity in there. But if you've got things like these wizards that you talk about for use cases, that can make the time to implement, for those use cases quite quick, and allow you to get that benefit quite quickly.
When we go into a pre-sales engagement, or even kind of even in SMB mid-market, there's pretty much 3 things that we show. One is pipeline trending or snapshotting. The next one is forecasting, our time series, and the other one is kind of like this actuals versus target. And most of our customers are like, oh my God, I didn't realize that we could do that snapshotting, or we could do that forecasting very quickly. And of course, it's all declarative. So, these are the use cases that we've targeted specifically, because it's mostly sales management and people that need to understand those kind of key things. Whereas, am I going to hit my forecast? And show me as a manager, show me which deals have been moved out in the last week or the last month. And for a sales manager, that's a big deal. So these capabilities really tie well back to, that sales service management use cases.
That's very cool.
Could roll into our next question, which is about Einstein opportunity scoring. So some of this stuff has been part of the core Einstein paid for product, and that's now becoming standard in the core Salesforce offering itself. How's that going to help?
Yeah, I mean, if I speak to the APAC market, I mean, sometimes customers are kind of like, well, what's the use case for intelligence? Because I've never seen it before. I don't know what it looks like. And so what we've tried to do is kind of say, look, what we want to do is, if you're a Salesforce customer today and you're using our platform really well, and obviously you're paying for the license, how do we add more value to that license, right? So if you're a Sales Cloud customer today, we want to keep on adding features and functions and get you to kind of, get as much value out of that as possible. And so what we've tried to do is say, well, for all of our customers, how do we give it so you kind of can start with intelligence very quickly on those simple things that every customer should be doing? So opportunity scoring is a big deal, right? Is an opportunity going to convert? Most of our customers want to know that. And so how do we, make it easy for somebody to go and turn on, make it an out-of-the-box model, make it super simple so it's clicks, so you can just turn it on. Salesforce handles everything because we kind of know how opportunities work, and you turn it on, it's good. So, I mean, that's I think free. I'm unsure when it's being delivered. But that's going to be a big deal for a lot of our customers, because opportunities, I mean, we use it internally. If I go and look at an opportunity and we've got a little blue circle that goes a likelihood to convert, if it's 2%, we can't forecast it. So we're using our intelligence on accounts every day. And so we want to give this to our customers. We've got lots of other capability, such as prediction builder, where you can build your own like churn score in clicks and make it simple. So what you're going to see is probably a bunch of these Einstein features coming into platforms, so people can turn them on or partners can turn them on, so you can just feel it. I think half the challenge is like, okay, this AI thing is cool, but what do I do with it? And so we want to kind of educate and make it easy for everybody to do that.
Andrew, is there like a minimum amount of data that you need to kind of power the engine, as it were?
Yeah, this is a really, I mean, we get asked this a lot. I think probably once a day I would hear, hey, we can't use this Einstein thing because we don't have enough information in our org. So there's a couple of things here. The first one is we have a bunch of products. They all have different requirements. So if you're using Sales Cloud Einstein for lead scoring, I think the minimum, and again, somebody would need to follow me up on this, is like 10,000 rows of leads to kind of get that score. Now we have a readiness checker that you can go and apply. And what it will do is go and check your org and say, you can do this, you can do these 5 things, but you can't do these 2 things. And that's the way that we've approached it. We've tried to say, you can apply it, but we're going to tell you the things that it's not going to be good at out of the box and the things that it are. But then we've also got our declarative build one, our Einstein Analytics Plus, where if you've got 100 rows, that's not a good idea. But if you've got 100 rows, you can feed it into our tool and it's going to give you some type of outcome. You just need to be experienced in understanding the quality and the insights that it's giving you. So, you know, what we've tried to handle it of, if there's an out of the box and we're going to make sure that this works, we're going to give you some requirements that you're going to have to meet. But right down to the other end, it's like, if you know what you're doing, Einstein can give you the tool set and you chuck it whatever you want and it's going to give you an output. So it depends on your journey, but we definitely have solutions where there's no requirement, you just give it data.
Cool. Jump now from the questions that we had submitted previously to one that we've just received live.
Sure.
So what kind of query language can you use within Einstein Analytics? So for example, in Salesforce SQL, you can't use select star and a bunch of other keywords that you would get in standard SQL. Is that more powerful in, I think it's called SQL within Einstein Analytics?
Yeah, I mean, we have, I mean, if I step back here a little bit, we have, if you look at the Einstein dashboard on platform, we have this idea of Salesforce Analytics query language, which is basically, for those that are following on at home, this pig language, which is an original Hadoop language. So Hadoop has a few languages. There's Hive, Pig are kind of the 2 main ones. So what we've done is we've taken that library, put it into Einstein Analytics. However, if you want to have a dashboard with SQL on it, you can. If you program something in Apex that has a number output, we can access that from a Einstein dashboard. So, we support a few things. So, we can do SQL. Obviously, the limitations of Salesforce platform obviously adhere to Einstein, Apex, and then we've got our own language, which is SQL. But we announced at Dreamforce that coming soon, Safe Harbor, we are going to add in SQL as well as Pig onto our Einstein Analytics platform. And part of the reason for that is we want to make sure that if a user has only ever done SQL before, we should be able to do those type of queries on our platform. We'll do the translation on top of Pig and kind of make it simple. But I think to answer some of your questions there around the limitations, Salesforce is always going to limit some of that query language based on the capabilities that we're allowing you to access on our platform. There's lots of statements that we don't allow in Pig that we have a limited amount of functions within there, just so we can handle scale appropriately and we don't just query everything. So there's things that we'll work on, but I'm sure the SQL translation will be very similar to the limitations and things that we set on the Pig language. That being said, you should be able to do everything that you want to do within our limits, right? There's ways that you can handle that.
Cool. Another live question has just come in. Prediction builder is the most important thing to me. We bring in 4,000 applications per month. It sounds like these are cases. Is 4,000 records per month enough to start building predictions from?
Yeah, I mean, prediction builder. Yeah, I mean, unless it says somewhere wrong in the documentation, but that's definitely something that we would apply prediction builder to. And I'm guessing, you know, they either want a true or false outcome or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it should be in your sandbox right now. If not, reach out to your AE and we can apply it to your org in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, go and test it. Reach out to a Salesforce person if you have any issues, and just make sure that we guide you through that. But yeah, that's one where we would like, yeah, try it out with Prediction Builder for sure. And if it doesn't, you know, and you're looking at purchasing or something like that, we've got our Einstein Discovery product that, you know, is just like a premium version of Prediction Builder. It obviously has a little bit more capability. That will definitely be able to handle it. It's just not as easy to use.
Yep. Just a follow-up question to that. So is Prediction Builder limited in the objects that it works with, or?
Yeah, I think right now it's single object, and I might, you know, the last time I looked at it, it was. And that's kind of where you might want to look at Einstein Discovery to go, okay, I actually need a multi-grain, you know, a multi-object kind of analysis. So a big one is, you know, activities tied to an account or to an opportunity. How many activities, you know, related to an outcome or an opportunity? That's kind of a discovery thing that we've done. Or if it was churn, you know, and you have all that information on the account object, that's an easy thing to have Prediction Builder kind of look at.
Cool. And some feedback that sounds like discovery is what this attendee is looking for. So maybe that leads on to a question we had, and maybe our last question before we wrap up is what's some good use cases for Einstein Discovery, and how powerful is that product?
Yeah, good question. I mean, we are improving this at a really fast rate. If you go and look back when we purchased this product, Beyond Core, and started to put it on platform, the iterations on this product is just absolutely crazy. I mean, when it started to where it is now, it's amazing. So you're gonna, you know, we're spending a lot of time really focusing on this product set because it's super powerful. And the real challenge that we fix with Einstein Discovery is not necessarily like we have the best models in the world. They're very good. But when, you know, most people look at it and go, yo, this discovery thing, is it compared to like a data robot, or how does it compete against my custom model? That's not what it's for. What we're trying to do is say, if you give us some data, we're going to do a pretty good job at figuring out the accuracy, you know, the data quality, and we're going to give you a pretty good model as an outcome. So, you know, that's the first thing. What we're really trying to fix is distribution. So we were talking about data lakes before, which was, okay, I've got all these custom models, I've got all this data. How do I get it back into Salesforce and make it super easy for sales and service people to use? That's really why Discovery is so powerful, because we handle this real-time distribution. Now, in saying that, we are super specifically targeting, you know, historically, process, and, you know, the product manager is probably going to kill me if he watches this, but, you know, probabilistic outcomes for processes on CRM. So things like, how likely is it that this deal is going to close? Or when is this case going to close? Or how likely is this case to be escalated? So if you think of all the processes that you have on CRM, sales, service, or custom builds on platforms, Einstein's designed to sit on top of that and make it more intelligent. That's what we've tried to do. We're not trying to, you know, figure out cohorts of users. We're really fixated on this CRM process probabilistic outcomes. And so the majority of our customers that use this are using it for that. churn, likely to close, maximize lifetime value, maximize CSAT, likelihood for escalation on our platform. Those ones are the ones that we always kind of implement first.
Excellent. Well, I think that's a good point to wrap it up as we come up on time. Thank you, Andrew, for your participation. It's been awesome. Really enjoyed your insights into the product, and I think it's always interesting when you can talk to someone who's in the know and actually learn that the tool you've got is a whole lot more powerful than what you realized. So yeah, that inside knowledge is fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Good speaking to you.
Excellent. So thanks everyone on the line, and apologies again for the technical issues at the top of the hour. We will iron that out, and appreciate some of the audio issues that hopefully we've fixed along the way as well. So I just wanted to finish off with a quick shout out about a new offering that we at Trinio are bringing to the market. It's what we're calling SFDC Academy. So the general idea behind this is that we are your coach behind the scenes, helping you navigate through the complex world of Salesforce and putting you down the right path. So it's not a support offering. We're not doing the work for you. We're coaching you and helping you make the right decisions and unlock the value of what you've already bought. So within this, you get to join a community where you can ask advisory questions and tap into all the expertise that we have across Trinio, but also you can lean on us to tap into our wider networks of people that we know within the wider ecosystem and help you get answers so that you can move forward positively with your Salesforce experience. And we do have a 50% off code that you can use right now, Coach50. If you go to that website,